Hello, welcome to this overview of IBM WebSphere Service Registry and Repository version 8.5. The Service Registry Dashboard UI is brand new in version 8.5 and will show you how it can be used to easily find services in the catalogue, manage them, control them, and visualize who is consuming them. So let's start with Find. The Service Registry provides a catalogue of reusable business services and associated assets. You can search the catalogue in various ways to discover services or other items that you might be interested in. Finding services is even easier in version 8.5 thanks to the new collection filters. Your search results or your predefined collections can be refined by type, governance state, or classification. Here's an example of how someone might use the new dashboard. An app developer looking for a service to use in their app can use the new Service Catalogue view. This simple, read-only view makes it really easy to search for services. Most users typically have access to this view and maybe one or two other views too, depending on their role. If the developer finds a service they're interested in, they can email the service owner to check that it's okay to go ahead and use it, or maybe to suggest potential enhancements. And they can download the service definition documents required to finish building their app.
Let's move on to look at Manage. The Service Registry Dashboard enables you to manage the lifecycle and consumption of services. So why is service management important? Consider this example. The accounting department creates a currency conversion service for their own use. Other departments find out about it and start using it without the knowledge of its owners. Over time, the workload increases and the service quality suffers. The accounting department add more servers to compensate, but eventually these are overloaded too and they have to withdraw the service. If the apps that use it are important to the business, then the business suffers. Through service management, the accounting department can alleviate this by keeping track of all versions of services it has running and who is using them. So service management is clearly important. You can use the Service Registry Dashboard to register services, apps and processes. During service registration, the service definition can be loaded from WSDL and schema documents. Additional information can be added to make it easier to find and consume a service. For example, you can classify the service and provide contact details for the service owner. Service definition documents can be bulk loaded from a zip file or published into the service registry directly from developer tooling. The Service Registry Dashboard can be used to manage the design and development phases and deployment of services to runtime environments. Approvals can be put in place at various stages. For example, to control the promotion of a service from test to staging and ultimately into the production environment. Services need to change over time. Service Registry helps to manage these changes by allowing each version of a service to be taken through the service lifecycle independently. For example, the initial version of a service might be deployed to production with several apps consuming it, while a subsequent version could still be in test. The owner of a service can easily notify their consumers that a new version is on the way, allowing them to test their app with the new version before migrating to it. Service owners can review requests to use their services. They can approve or reject these usage requests and specify the consumption level that each app is allowed. When we get to the section on control, we will describe how consumption levels can be enforced for each consumer. Out of the box, in version 8.5, we've provided carefully tailored views aimed at users in business, development, operations and SOA governance roles, as well as the general purpose Service Catalogue view mentioned earlier in the video. If necessary, the Service Registry Dashboard can be easily customized for the specific needs of your users.
Moving on to look at control. You can use the Service Registry Dashboard to define desired service levels for a service and control which consumers can use it. For example, in order to ensure that endpoint capacity is not exceeded, the service owner can add traffic management policies that specify the maximum capacity for an endpoint. These policies are enforced by IBM Data Power. Alternatively, the service owner can add workload management policies to specify how the workload is to be handled. These policies are enforced by IBM Integration Bus. Routing policies can also be applied. For example, when the response time for a service endpoint goes above a defined threshold, indicating that the endpoint isn't working, traffic can be dynamically rerouted to an alternative endpoint. A policy can even be attached using a query. So, for example, the policy becomes effective on any service which is deployed into production. And as you've seen already, when the owner of an app wants to consume a service, they can contact the service owner to agree entitlement levels for the app. The agreement might include, for example, limits on the maximum number of messages per day. The service owner can then add traffic management policies, which specify the usage limits to the service level agreement, SLA, between the app and the service. At runtime, products like IBM Data Power can look up the SLA and enforce the policies to ensure that agreed consumption levels are not exceeded.
Finally, the Service Registry Dashboard allows you to visualize service consumption and analyze the impact of making changes. The visualization tools can help determine the level of reuse of a service and assist in understanding which consumers would be impacted by making a change to a service. And you can use the charts to visualize key information about your services.
Thank you for watching this overview of IBM WebSphere Service Registry and Repository version 8.5.